Hello and welcome to this tutorial for how to mod the game Battlegroup VR. Battlegroup VR is a newish early access VR game in which you play as the commander of, well, a battle group. In space you have three-dimensional movement combat, and this will teach you how to import custom ships. Now I'm going to presume you can understand the first steps here on your own, as if you do not, you have no business making mods anyway. I'm going to be honest there. So you just have to get the assets creator, you get Unity, you open the assets creator in Unity. I, obviously, already have that long since done. So we'll just open that up now. Battlegroup VR assets creator. Let's let Unity load. Now, obviously, you're going to need a 3D model to create your ship. And soon, this will be updated because it's going to include a thing that I'm going to show you how to use in this tutorial. Unity could do with hurrying up. Where is it? There we go. Now, much Blue Peter style, here's some I made earlier. However, we're not going to be looking at those today because, well, that won't help anybody here. Now, what you're going to need, once you're in this scene, is to open the ship kit. I don't know what Ken will have renamed this to, it might still be called Later as Easy Ship Kit, but this will be packaged with the next update of the SDK. In here there are several items, most of which you can ignore. You need the ship template prefab. Just drag that in and set its coordinates to 0, 0, 0 on every axis. Then you can just zoom on into it. And here you go. This is a ship, for the most part. Now, you're going to need a model, of course. So I will open up this, and I will create a new folder in my little organization system, and I will call it Lucahulk, because that's what I'm going to be adding in. And then I'm going to go into my files. I have already downloaded a model, which I'm going to use today. And so I will just shrink that window down, take this, and... oh wait, no. This is actually neater, hang on. Now, this is a lot of files, yes. I'm just going to drag all of them into this, and let Unity import those. There we go. Now, the most important one, of course, is the Lucahulk's model prefab. Now, we'll set this to 0, 0, 0, and because I am very strange, I will rotate it, because old habits die hard, I guess. Oh, I didn't type that right. There we go. And we have a Lucahulk. It's rather small, of course, compared to the other ships right now. But inside the game, you will find a file called size rings. I believe what you have to do there is you open up, I think it's workspace? I haven't rehearsed any of this tutorial. No, it's not workspace. Aha, scenes, and you should be running the ship setup scene. I should have set that first, but I didn't. And that will give you this, size rings. And this will give you a series of rings that allow you to scale your ship. Now, I don't remember off the top of my head how long a Lucahulk is. So let's just quickly look that up. It's 3.1 thousand meters. Now, my preferred method of measuring is to pop into Unity's flat mode, which you get by clicking this little white box in the middle of the angle orientation. It totally removes perspective, which means you can now drag the rings to the bottom of the ship, open up the Lucahulk, and start scaling. Let's see if that's any good. We're looking for about 3,000 meters. That's not 3,000 meters. And how about this? That's slightly too large. Okay, 3.6 maybe. That's close enough for me. Now, you want to disable perspective mode for now? And, yes, you're going to want to disable the size rings once again. Now, here we have our Lucahulk model, correctly scaled this time. What do we do with this? We take the Lucahulk model, we take the ship template, we open the ship template, go to body, place ship model here. That's what we do then. It is in. We can get rid of that because that's a spare component. I forgot to unpack the prefab. You unpack prefab completely, delete that, and there you go. Now I don't like how this model is set up. So this is something that you'll probably not have to do on models you download. This is something I exported from a different mod that I work on. And so you have to, well, I have to, you might have to if you do not like the way the textures have exported. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm creating new materials and I'm applying the original textures to them. Okay, so these are det maps. Okay, that is bump, def. Right. Now I apply a bump map to the normal map. Diff map to there. That's a spec map? Yes, that's a spec map. And I apply that to the spec map. And I just have to figure out where that actually goes. Which I will fully admit I don't know yet. I don't know what a det is. So... oh, details. It will be the detailed version. There you go. See, and that already looks a lot brighter and nicer. And then you simply rinse and repeat. And that is all of those done. Now hopefully I either cut all of that shit out or shortened it a lot. But now, seeing as it's very shiny as I added the spec map, what I'm going to want to do is simply adjust that, because it's a bit too shiny. So I'm just going to lower the spec map smoothness, because I don't personally want that, but you can adjust these things to your own liking. That's the wondrous thing about being the person doing the modding. There we go. I'm quite happy with that. And so that's our Lucahulk model. it is scaled, it is placed. Now we just have to set that to 0 by the ship template, and you can then drag the ship out. It doesn't matter where the ship template is located, that's why mine are all arrayed across. Now you have, in theory, a fully functional ship in the game. Of course, you don't want this to be all you've got, because you do of course have to place, for example, the bridge. The bridge placeholder item has an item called bridge indicator. You don't want to move that. You have bridge placeholder. Observe. If you drag that out, it's a wee pink cube, and you're going to want to put that wherever the bridge of your ship is. I can't say I know where the bridge of Illucahog is, so I'm just going to put it somewhere that makes sense, which is here. Now let's see, can I see through this model? No, I cannot, which means that I'm going to want to stick it outside. Just put the bridge a little bit outside of the model. It's for your own good, trust me. Otherwise you'll have bits of model stuck in the bridge of the ship. It's very annoying. And now, weapon setup. This is the most interesting part, of course. You've got engine slots, offensive slots, turrets. You've got other sorts of slots. I will show you how to use those now. Weapon setup, always keep that at full zeros, otherwise you're going to have everything floating halfway off the ship. So, let's take the engine slot and just drag it over here, because this is where the engines are, so that just feels right. And the offensive slot can stay in the sphere. But this is the one, of course, you're all waiting for. Turrets. The most important part of designing a combat ship for a game about combat ships. Now, you've got this lovely little model here. This is not obviously what the turrets look like in game. This is just to help you place them. So let's get this placed nicely. Let's centerline it. Ooh, centerlining it all isn't actually centered to the model. That's interesting. I don't like that. No, I don't. Okay, so we won't be putting one there. But observe. If I was to say put a turret all the way up here, it would actually look ridiculous. So let's not do that. Let's just drag it over here. Scroll it down. Scroll it down further. Now this will be a lot clunkier when you do it, because you'll have to get used to how to actually do this, but that's fine. It'll get smoother for you in time. Now, here is a turret. Seems simple enough, yes? Except for all of this shit over here. So what do you do with all of this? Why, it's simple. You go back over to this Battlegroup VR equipment list. And this will tell you every single thing you can select. Now, for example, turrets. Let's equip this thing with some medium cannon turrets. Now, this is the name you want to have put in, medium cannon turret. Observe, medium cannon turret. That's what will show up in the game. And so, I'm going to quickly place a few of those around. Oh, and just for context here, what I did was I pressed Ctrl C and then Ctrl V to duplicate the turrets. It's nice and simple that way. Because if you copy paste, it simply duplicates the item, and it even numbers it for you. It's very simple and very effective. So I'm going to place a large series of turrets around the ring of this ship, and then I will end another montage bit. Done. Now I have placed a series of medium cannon turrets all around the ship, as you can tell by these little grey dots, which are the turret markers. Now, engines. Oh look, they're all rather dark and uninteresting looking. Let's close weapon setup for now. Engine flare. This is one that's mainly just time consuming. You want to drag your engine flare to here, so you've got the bubble, and then the ship kit will come with a single engine, as shown here. Now, let's go into perspective mode, just so we can line this up perfectly. It's already centerlined. Let's just make sure it fits perfect. Now, we're going to need to rescale that, because it doesn't fit right now, obviously. This is going to take some rescaling. And let's just drag it in for a moment. Yes, I think that'll work, although I want to shorten that trail to about there. Yes, that looks about right. Although it needs to be dragged down a little. There we go. And now, with a bit more copy and pasting, we now have 3 engines in the correct places. Of course, there's also still other engines, so let's solve those now. Change scale. Still too large. And drag it in. Then, with copious copy pasting, you can simply put them all where they belong, like that. And now, your Lucrehulk has engines. Marvellous. And you can close engine flare, never to be seen again. So, we've set up turrets. We've set up engines. What else could there possibly be to set up, of course? Why, this is when we come back to weapon setup. This is something very important for a Lucrehulk. Hangar bays. Now, let's take any random item. I'll take this original turret because it's right here. Now copy, paste. And let's bring it down here. Now, we're going to want to rotate it. And we're going to want to move it. Let's put it about here. Doesn't have to be anything too specific. Let's rename it to Hangar. And then with a quick copy paste and quick switch of that combined with a little bit of rotation. There we go. We have 2 hangar bays, except they're still turrets, of course. So we select both of them and we change them to bays. And we turn that off and we set that to small. Now, this one I want to have as a fighter bay. Fighter launch bay, as per the component list. And then, for the other one, we want it to be bomber launch bay. Because it just seems nice to have both. And so we've set those up. Now, slots. These are what I did not bring up earlier, of course. I just vaguely moved them and said that was that. Now, of course, these are components. So, we have all of these components that we can try. For a Lucrehulk, I am going to go for reinforced armour, and in the engine slot, I'm going to go for tactical warp. That just seems prudent. Now your ship is almost done. And all you have to do is go to ship template, name it Lucrahulk, and of course, it feels like it's almost done now, doesn't it? It's not. Welcome to the most inverted commas fun part of making a ship. Now, we're going to want to set these things. You can ignore that one, you can ignore that one. You might want to do weapon range. I suppose you should be vague about these. It's about 3000, considering it is a circle. Now, shields. I don't have a particularly nice sense of balance for these yet, but let's compare it to, say, Providence, which has 2000s. So I'll want to set this to at least 3000, because very strong shields is kind of its thing. Now, for hit points, let's say about 5000. And of course, for speed. It's a giant carrier, it's not that fast. Let's go for about 75. I wouldn't suggest lowering the turn rate, otherwise it just becomes pretty much unusable. And now, there's only one thing left to do. Colliders. You will quickly come to hate these with a burning passion. Observe. They are small fucking boxes. Let's just make it at least vaguely usable. Disable perspective mode. And make a very basic box collider. If you click off it, they completely vanish. Yeah, it's annoying. Unity is not very good for colliders. And that's the first one done. And now let's drag this second one that's in here. Just specifically to cover the engines. You don't need to do it so specifically. I just like to. I don't know why I like to. It's hell. But I suppose I'm a masochist. Now, there seems to be parts of the ship still sticking out of these collider boxes, of course. Those bits won't get hit by projectiles. But we've only got 2 collider boxes. So of course we simply copy component, paste component as new, and we have a third. Let's change its size so that it's not matched with the other one. And then we can simply rescale that to be exactly how we desire it. Turn perspective back on and have a look at what we've done. There you go. That is a functional ship. Of course, How do you get it into the game? Well, I have a file here called finished ships, which I just do for neatness. You don't need to. I had an old Luca Hulk model, but it was garbage, so we can delete that. If you're curious. Oh, I even deleted the model files, it's fine. That one was garbage, it had a much worse model. I got it off Sketchfab. This is from an actual fucking proper thing. So it's much better. Now, we take the Luca Hulk and we drag it into here. Here it is, Luca Hulk. Now, it's already a Luca Hulk thing, but if I just remove unused names, that will vanish. So, we press New, and we can't type, because things are stupid. I think I just opened the prefab by accident, but that's fine. And so, because it doesn't do it the first time, it almost certainly never will. You do have to type this twice. And now you have an asset bundle assigned by your prefab. Asset bundles. Build asset bundles from selection. And as you can see, it just chugs on through. You just wait for that to complete. And you'll know when it does. And that's how you know when it does. Because it pops up this File Explorer window. You go into Windows here, under Asset Bundles, and you have Luca Hulk and Luca Hulk Manifest. Now, cut those files, and let's go to Battlegroup VR. Custom Assets, and here you're going to want to create a new file. Luca Hulk. Ignore that one, that was the old one. In fact, I'm actually going to delete that because I genuinely don't care about it. And we're going to paste those in here. These are your file paths. Make sure you have this file path. Obviously, different name. Your ship is now in the game. And so, the only thing left to do is start it up. I'll be back when I'm in a battle. And here we are. Oh look, it's a Luca Hulk, alongside a few other ships that I have modded in. We've got a nice little separatist battle group here. And, in the distance, is a Republic fleet. Oh, those dastardly Republic. So, let's begin the fleet engagement, shall we?
Ready for action. Roger. Moving. Loud and clear.
Orders received.
Let's get a fleet formation going.
Coordinates locked.
And let's have the command ship start moving.
No problem. No problem.
Acknowledged.
Here we are. Look, let's
Affirmative.
enlarge the formation before we get some fucking crash damage or something, because this is ridiculous. Yep, we're going to approach the enemy over there, and we're going to tear them to shreds. Maybe. We also might horribly die because the Secutor is really overpowered. But hey, what's the worst that can happen beyond our total annihilation? Oh, wait, yeah. It's fine. We are approaching a Republic fleet. I can see a Venator in the distance. Prepare to destroy them all. Look. We've got sensor echoes now. Which means I can have us move. Do I want to engage them from the side or what? Yeah, I want to engage them from
Coordinates
that
locked.
side because our end of the circuit is a better idea. Look at this, our little separatist fleet on approach. You can see the guns on the Lucrehulk have been attached. That's how they actually look in game. Oh, look at that giant bastard. Look at all those guns, they'll tear anything to shreds. And of course, there's a rather concerning enemy leading the fleet. A certain villainous captain of the Republic. I don't think they have us on sensors yet, so we have the advantage of superior positioning. Or at least we will until they turn around. Which won't likely take long, in all honesty.
Vesta ready. Confirmed.
Okay,
No
I want
problem.
those two Providence cruisers
IVN Avalon proceeding.
prepping up. But you
Copy that.
group on that one. And
Absolutely.
fight formation. Because those have some nice missile
Scanner sweep
launchers.
complete. Go ahead. Very
So I
well.
want you up about there.
No problem. IVN Avalon proceeding.
I want both of
Absolutely.
their power set divert specifically to weapons. First thing, I want to take out their weapons immediately, because otherwise we are fucked.
Closing in.
Engines engaged.
Right. I think it's time.
Launching
received.
program. Vesta ready. Right away. Strike craft launched. Moving. Launching strike craft.
Launch your fighters prepare for combat.
Orders received.
Fleet action engage.
Your command. Lock. Very well. Taking fire. IVN Gladius proceeding. Front Arquette. Ready for service. Samiha's
Enemy
weapons lock.
detected.
I'm on it. Fighter launch bay is ready. I'm on it. Go ahead. Taking casualties.
Oh, we're getting some lag from the amount of projectiles going here. Probably not, well, though it is my fault. I put in a fucking
Dark
reception
shield
check.
target down.
I know this.
Taking casualties.
I know full well this is my
Enemy has
fault.
weapons lock. Keep pressure.
Oh fuck, they jumped!
Multiple
I
hull
forgot they
breaches
could do
reported.
that.
Taking cash repositioning.
Our shields are almost down, what? Our hull's almost
Rotator
dead.
fire. Front top hit.
Orders received.
Launching reset cooldowns.
Affirmative.
Coming around.
Must have got rammed.
We are taking fire on fuel.
That
Enemy
was
has weapons
hellish.
lock. Taking casualties. Understood. Zeroing in. Enemy has weapons lock. We are taking fire.
I don't know how they took out our shields almost immediately. They didn't take out our shields, they just mass damaged right through our shield. Oh shit, the time warp just wore off.
Destroyed.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Front watch out
Why
for
are we
those
just
turrets.
taking direct hull damage constantly?
Squadron taking
Well,
losses.
we're dead. I know that much.
Coming around. Front weapon hit. Enemy is retreating. Return to hangar is ready. Right arc
We took
hit.
out the Secutor's weapons at least.
Taking casualties. Ready, Commander.
Oh, there we go. That's us dead.
Target
Engaging.
destroyed.
All hands abandon ship, I guess. Oh, wow. The fleet actually took out the Secutor. By ramming it. Evidently. I don't know what happened with the navigation here. I think they rammed me and then I ended up ramming them. I'm not quite sure. Liberation strike to escape. Damn, I can't command these ships anymore.
We require resistance!
I mean, I think we've won the battle for the most part. So at least there's that. Yeah, these two ain't making it out. Not if these cunts will actually pursue anyway. Which they might not, to be honest. I think you get the point. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen? That pretty much wraps up this modding tutorial. Except, of course, for one wee thing. What do you do once you have a fully functional modded attack ship in this game, Why, you put it on the workshop, of course. Through local assets. Then you find your ship, which is right here, and you press upload. And that will appear on the Steam Workshop. You can download this one. Download all of these, actually. Except the Executor, that's broken. It was too big. The game could not deal with it. The game could barely deal with this. And the Executor is, like, at least, like, 5 times the size. So let's not. I don't know how this is supposed to scroll. Ken told me it was that he fixed the scrolling, but he clearly hasn't. So I can't even upload most of my ships. But yeah, that about wraps up this tutorial on how to mod Battlegroup VR. Thank you very much, and good night.